Right then, we're finally getting somewhere with A5. It's back from Europe. I've had a chance to get it on dyno, and at the same time this has appeared. So as people may or may not remember, God, where's the ton this thing? There we go. This was fitted to our A5 for not long, and then Mike decided he didn't like this turbo anymore, so just basically let it explode. But basically what happened, it just snapped back clean off, because this didn't have a full shaft wheel like this one's got now, and it just snapped it off, and the rest is history. So what we've done, we've sent it off to our turbo supplier, and he's ended up, we couldn't quite get what we wanted with standard cover, so we've ended up with, this is I think a all-set HX40 or something like that, comp cover, a nice little boost tapping that we'll probably have to just blank off anyway. But we've got this on, and then the wheel that we've put in, it's instead of 50mm inducer, it's 60mm, and instead of, I think it was 77 on the X juicer, or 77, 76 on the X juicer, now it's let me think, I've got it written down here, 86. So this is my notepad, 86mm. So it's a fair bit bigger, and the turbine is a fair bit bigger as well. I don't know if I quoted what it was originally, so there's no point really saying, but it's 68, 65 now, so it's big, really big. So this, in theory now, is a 500 horsepower turbo, so 500 plus. I'd hope with a 60mm inducer you get nearer to 550, but we'll see. I don't want to make any silly bold claims, because last time I did it went pop before we even got anywhere past what the GTD 28 did, which it doesn't help that the turbo that we're trying to replace with this is a very good turbo. It's still in standard housing, so it fits nice, but it's very good. But they're quite expensive. Well, this, God knows how expensive this would have to be if somebody wants one, because there's a lot of work just to get it to fit. But we'll quick run over to dyno. We'll see what the in between standard, the 28, and then this we've got going on. So you'll see it. So we finally got it back on the dyno. So the turbo this has got a pop bonnet. For some reason, Mike loves running car up on dyno with bonnet down. So the turbo that's on here now, it's a GTB 2566. So the old sort of turbo that we used to sell before the 28. We sort of got rid of that because the turbine wheels were hard to get hold of that didn't leak and stuff like that. So we just sacked them off, and then this 28 come at just the right time. We started selling them. But they are a bit expensive. People don't always want to pay what they cost, and these should be a nice in between sort of the cost of a new standard turbo and the cost of the GTD 28. Not 100% sure exactly how much, but it'll be somewhere in between that. And then you can see what figures this has allowed us to produce. So we finally got the big monitor working because we've upgraded dyno to new software. But you can see now we're doing 600 foot-pound of torque, or thereabouts, at 2500 RPM, and then we're making 394 horsepower. And this is the tune that we're going to take it to Donington GP next week, some testing. So it might not get on track for a long time, and we've not got the Race Logic HD2 in there anymore, the V-Box, so we're not going to get as good footage, but while we're there we'll try and get some. So this is what we're going to take it as. It's done this sort of power when we've took it on track before, so it's not going to be any faster or any slower, but really nice curves. It behaves really nice at this power. This Gen 1 DSG DL501 works nice at this. Once you start asking for a bit more, that's when you get the inconsistency on this one. The later ones don't have that same problem. So nothing too interesting at the minute, but we've not forgot about it, and we're going to get cracked on. But the idea, put the big turbo on, run it for a little bit again, And then before we give it away, it's going to get this turbo back on, the DPF back on, and that's basically how it's going to be. The seats have been swapped out for some ones that have basically run out of date for racing, but they're absolutely fine for driving about, still nice and comfy. This one's a Kevlar one that's been wrapped, look like carbon, it's had a terrible wrap job done, and that one's a proper carbon fibre one, but these will be fine. They're quite expensive for what they were. I think we gave as much for these as we did for the ones that we can actually race in, but needs all the help it can get for weight, so we put them in this one. So, a bit more interesting on the next video hopefully, maybe some big numbers, maybe not. So, like the video, subscribe, share it if you can please.